Good morning, everyone. We'll start with Chip Price, who is a commissioner and mayor pro tem for the town of SIler City. He has served on the board of commissioners for over a decade. Mr. Price is a 1978 graduate of Western Carolina with a Bachelor of Science in Industrial Technology. He spent 23 years in manufacturing with the Bowling Company and 14 years as the retail manager for Southern States. He helped form the Affordable Housing Advisory Committee and still serves on this committee today. Please join me in welcoming Chip Price.
Good morning, everyone. Not used to speaking to such a large crowd, but usually I don't have any problem speaking. So I told Cindy this morning, said she gave me 5 minutes. I don't know if I can introduce myself in 5 minutes or not. But it's a pleasure to be here on behalf of the town of SIler City Board of Commissioners, and the staff. We'd like to say thank you for inviting us to come over and speak to this group this morning. Well, when I was thinking about what we say, or, to let you know what's going on in SIler City, the thought came to me, you can't know where you're going unless you know where you have been. So I thought I'd start off and just tell you where SIler City has been, and since I've been on the Board of Commissioners. 10 years ago, SIler City, there wasn't a lot going on anywhere. Just about a lot of houses for sale signs everywhere. All our industry had gone. We had a few core businesses that were there that are still with us. And, it just didn't look good. It didn't look good at all. So one of the things we started out as the Board of Commissioners made a pledge. We, at that point, were spending more money than we were taking in. That's the first thing we needed to stop, which we did. From that, we decided that we needed to do something to make the town more attractive to everyone, create some business, become more business friendly, and do some things like that. We started working on our UDO, changing some things there, get a balanced budget, made some tough decisions. So to say all that to say this, sort of tell you where we are at this point. As you well know, just like in the rest of the county, you can't find a house to buy in SIler City anymore. All my friends that are in the realty business, if it's out there, it'll sell tomorrow if you go put a sign for it. So, and that's a positive. As far as our industry goes, we have been very fortunate and very blessed to have come across some very strong industrial partners. Not to slight anybody, but our friends at Mount Air, the largest private employer in there. That was our first out of the gate, and that has been a very successful thing, and it has energized our community as a whole. There's a buzz going on in town anymore, whereas before, the only buzz you heard was a bee flying around. With that said, there are also some other industries that we have been able to attract to SIler City. We were able to attract Matt's Acne from over at Asheboro. They have taken up a facility there. And we also, another company that has come to SIler City was Aldi Tubing, which is it was an Italian firm. They manufacture stainless steel tubing. That's been another. So we're not putting all our eggs in one basket. We're trying to be more diversified than we have been in the past. And there are a lot of other little smaller companies that have come that we've worked with to strengthen our industrial base. All right, so that brings us up to where we are now. With these growing pains that we're having, there's a lot of things that weren't problems in the past, but all of a sudden they popped up, and we got things that we got to do something about. Good problems to have. Rather than trying to figure out how we're going to keep the lights on now, we're worried about how we're going to continue to grow, have the facilities, have the infrastructure to do what we need to do. And with that in mind, we're in the middle of a waste Our wastewater treatment plant is in a $2 million expansion. We're going to go from 4 million gallons a day to 6 million gallons a day. And we're approximately halfway through that, and it should come online sometime towards the end of next year, which will allow us to do some other things that we need to do. At the same time, at our water treatment plant, we're expanding our facilities there, mainly through upgrading our equipment where we don't have so much of our potable water where we have to flush back the system. It gets way down in the weeds when you get to that. We've also are doing some updating at our airport. I don't know if all of you know, SIler City has an airport. And we're doing some upgrading on the runway. We've done some upgrading on our lighting facilities out there. We're also in the process of getting, I'm not much of a pilot, but anyway, that automatic pilot system where they land and stuff, we're in the process of doing that. And there's some other projects that are on our long-term plan. We're going to have put in a taxiway, and in long term is put in another strip. Some things that we're back to, all of us know about the COVID. One of the things that we have reinstituted with our partners at Mount Air was the Chicken Festival. We started having that again, then COVID hit and we were out of it for 2 years. We're going to have a Chicken Festival again this year. And I think everybody's excited about that. And for those you beach music people, the Embers are going to be there. So come for that. I know my grandson's excited about going down and doing the Ferris wheel and all that. But anyway, it's a positive for downtown. And the other part of that, we've got, just like the rest of Chatham County and the rest of the state, I suspect, there's a lot of proposed development that's trying to come to SIler City. 6 months ago, it wasn't on the drawing board. And as of this past week, there are 3,118 proposed dwelling units on the books for SIler City. That's proposed, that's not being built. So we've got something to look forward to. That dropped on us within the last 3 months, so we're trying to figure out how we're going to do all that. In addition to that, there's been another 93 acres of commercial property that's available to be doing something with. With that being said, we're also working on our downtown SIler City, continuing our revitalization program that we have down there. The Wren family, let's see, there's about 24 apartments that are being for downtown use, some restaurants. If you haven't been to SIler City or you haven't been in a long time, I would invite you to go downtown to the old part of town and look. There's a whole block down there that's been uplifted, revitalized, and it looks entirely different. One of the things we just participated in last week is the 2nd Avenue corridor study, which 2nd Avenue is old 421, for those of you who've been around a while. It hadn't been updated since the 60s. Taking a look at it, maybe making some bike lanes, doing some different things. Don't know how that's going to work out yet, because they just did a public input meeting this past week, and we'll see what that's going. Along with that, we're rerouting 3rd Street, which is the street that goes by Mount Air. Mount Air is so graciously, they got so much activity going on down there that it's hard to get through. The 3rd Street goes right through the middle of their facility. So we have worked with them as partners, and we're rerouting that street. It's still going to come back out on 64, but just a little bit earlier than that. And when they get done with that, they'll probably be the best looking streets in SIler City, because they'll be all nice landscaped, have sidewalks, everything, and it's really a step forward. Affordable housing. That's something that comes up a lot. SIler City has been fortunate. We have 2 projects, affordable housing. One is the Old Henry SIler School, which is complete. That have residents in it. The other project is Wallach, has 72 units that will be built. They'll start construction, I think, sometime in June this year. There'll be 72 units, and that'll be out there where the Chatham Hospital is, on some property out there. So we have some of that. It's Some other things that are going on are one of our existing businesses, Brookwood Farms, is in the middle of an expansion out there at their facility, so that's good news there. And of course, I'm not going to steal any thunder from anybody else, but we have a campsite over there. And there's been a whole lot since Toyota came up the street from us up there in Liberty. There's been a lot of activity. I'll let somebody else talk about that. But I think Siler City, I really believe, is on the precipice of some good things happening there. Good things are already happening, but giant things are going to happen. So I can't wait till that happens. In conjunction with that, we not only have the campsite, we have Mid-State Development, which is a little bit smaller tract that we're getting a lot of activity on now, and we're expecting to land something there sometime in the near future. Other things that we're doing, working with the Brownfield to revitalize some of our waterways and things that go through town, improve our water quality, that kind of thing. With that, when we started, one of the things I learned when I was started with the affordable housing project is, and this may be old news to some of you, but I didn't really realize it, but once I thought about it, it's made true. There is a huge income gap between the eastern and the western side of Chatham County. Now, some of this data, I'm doing this by memory, maybe a year or two old, but the average yearly household income for everybody in Chatham County is right at $79,000. If you divide it between east and west, the average yearly household income for the western side of Chatham County is $29,000 a year. There's a huge difference. So one of the things we work on in Siler City, best way we can help our citizens and our constituents, whatever you want to call it, is we got to get something for our folks to do. We got something that'll generate income, bring that income level up, get it more on a level basis, so our people can afford to do the things they want to do, which is housing. So that said, that sort of outlines how our board thinks about the projects that we work on and that come before us. With that in mind, we've also worked on our minimum housing codes, non-residential codes, and our nuisance codes. As you can imagine, we used to have code enforcement, but during COVID and different things, that was something that we couldn't afford to keep. But we have contracted with a group that does that for us. So down, we've got a lot of houses that we actually have demolished, a lot that are under renovation, and there's some that are under reconstruction. And in fact, at this time, there's about 5 houses that are currently going, and there's a lot more under consideration. So we're trying to get our inventory of available housing, affordable housing, getting it up to standards that we need to do. So I don't know. I think I'll conclude with that. Cindy said I only got 5 minutes. I think I'm way over that. But anyway, I appreciate the Chatham Chamber inviting the town of Siler City to come over here and speak with you. Any of you that would like to do a project in Siler City, you come right on over there. We'll be glad to sit down and talk with you. And no problem. Thank you very much.